In this demonstration of Biomni's front office for NetBackup, I'm going to show you how we can add a machine to a policy and then how we can remove it from that policy for backup. So first of all, let's have a look at the home screen, and we can see that we're logged in as this client Abacus. We're getting a view of their infrastructure down at the bottom of the screen, and we can see which machines are actually under protection, so have some sort of backup policy applied, and on the right we can see which ones are unprotected. So I might come in as a user and decide that actually we want to apply some protection to this VM called Apache here. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go into one of these services. I'm going to go into the new backup, and when I get into new backup I need to complete some details. The backup form is configured within the Biomni request form administrator, and it's very easy to come in and change all of the fields, all of the look and feel of this form, and also the boxes in here. So if you want to change any of this, it's very, very easy to do. So this form, then we just need to come in and select some of the information to enable us to add this machine into the backup policy. So first of all I need to decide which location we're going to select this from. I then need to go and select the actual machine itself. Now again, you'll notice that when I go into the select backup items, we're using our adapter to go out and to pull in information on the actual infrastructure. You'll notice that as we're logged in as Abacus client, we're only going to see their part of the infrastructure as well. This is looking at part of the vCloud, and you can see up here we've got the Abacus VDC, we've got the vApp, and then we've got the machine that we want to go and back up here called Apache. If I went further down and we looked at other machines in the infrastructure, then we can see under different vApps, and these would correspond to the table we had on the front screen, we can see that some of these machines have got this green icon applied to them, and if I go up to the question mark, you can see that that means those machines already have some sort of protection policy applied to them. So let's go into pick the Apache machine. When we click OK, all of that information that we've pulled in now, it appears in the request, and obviously that will allow us to automate that request to NetBackup shortly. Here then I can also come in and check on my backup retention, so let's just keep it at 1 month. And if I wanted to have other options in here, things like replicate backup, then we could include those as well. I'm just going to put a reference on here. This is going to be test 4345, and if I wanted to add any comments in here, we could add that into the form as well. So I'm going to click on to submit request now. If we wanted to put this for approval, we could do, but we decided we don't want any approval for this particular request. So that request is just going to go straight through. It's now gone into our fulfillment, and our fulfillment is basically going to kick off the different tasks that need to be completed in order to add this machine into the backup policy. Okay, so what it's going to do now, it's happening in real time. It's going to go and configure that backup, and then what we're going to do is we're going to refresh the protected item information. So this will enable us to see it on the front page in one of those panels, and we'll see it's moved over. So this is all happening in real time. So if I just click on refresh, you can see we've now completed the move of that machine into the policy. We're just refreshing this information. If I click refresh again, then you can see all of that has now been completed, and our request status has now gone to completed. So if I go back now to the home screen, and we look at the under protection and unprotected items, we can now see that that machine has moved over onto the left hand side. It's now going to be protected. We've got the retention level there, and also if we'd picked on any replication options, those would appear in here as well. Okay, so what if I now want to remove a machine from the policy? Well, it's the same sort of steps again. Only this time we're going to go into the remove backup service here. So what I'll do is I'll go into this form. So it's the same sort of form that you can design, change the fields, add more information as you wish, and dot all this sort of help information over it, and also do things like connect it to chat if you require as well. So in here then I'm going to fill out these fields. So we've got the select location as we had before. So again, I'm just going to come in and select my location of UK, and then we're going to go in and see all of the machines that are under protection, and then we can choose which ones we want to remove. Again, if I go down to another area before we go and look at the one we want to remove, you can see all the machines there are listed, and we can see the retention levels that are associated to those as well. So again, if I come into our Apache machine, we can see here that this has got a policy applied to it with a retention of 1 month and no replication. Obviously, if it had more than one policy, then you'd see those as a list underneath here as well, and you could decide which one you want to remove. So I'm going to select that one. Again, we're going to click on to OK. We're going to put all of that information again back into the request that we've sourced externally using our adapter. If I wanted to put some comments in there, I could, and then all we need to do again is to submit that request. And again, it's a similar sort of process as to what we saw before, only this time we're going to remove the backup. We're then going to run the protected information refresh to update the home page, and then that'll complete the request. Obviously, what we're doing when we're removing this backup is we're taking all of that information that we've put into the form, and we're going to be passing that over into NetBackup command, and so that will kick off. So if I do a refresh on there, you'll see it's still just removing that policy, and do a couple of refreshes. You can see it's now completed that. We're now refreshing the protected information, and again, if I just refresh that, you'll see that will complete now. And if I go back onto the home page, we can see that has now moved over onto the right hand side. There's other videos on our YouTube channel which cover the other functions on here, so if you want to see any of those, please go and have a look at that. If you have any other information, then please go and have a look at our home page, which is www.biomni.com. Thank you.